Hello everybody, welcome to the Sound Test Room. Today we are taking a look at Euclidean MIDI sequencer here from 4 Pockets, and also FAC Drumkit from Fred. Now, this is very, very cool. The way I've got this set up will open up a whole new world of rhythmic possibilities for you. Really, really cool stuff. We're going to look at how it's set up first with this session, and then I'm going to open another session where I have FAC Drumkit set up as multi-out, so it gets really, really creative then. But first of all, with FAC Drumkit, right, if we go to this trigger section here, if you're using a MIDI keyboard, these trigger from C2 all the way up to D sharp 3 or E flat 3, okay? So it's 16 pads. Now, we only have 4 lanes of sequencing in each of the Euclidean sequences. So we have 4 of them set up. I have 4 of them set up here to play each individual note of FAC Drumkit. So if I look at this first one here, if we pay attention here, you'll see the first one is C2, then C sharp 2, D2, D sharp 2. And if I open my second one, you'll see it goes E2. So it just goes up 16 notes in semitones, okay? So setup is super easy for this. Basically, open up Euclidean like this. Don't need to worry about MIDI inputs because we're only sending MIDI out. So look, MIDI output from Euclidean goes to FAC Drumkit. FAC Drumkit, everything goes to FAC Drumkit for each of the Euclideans. Okay, so you do the same thing again for the second one. You basically don't need to look at that. You basically open this and go right, MIDI outputs, and you'll see it's all been going to FAC Drumkit, all of them. And you just do that 4 times, right? Now, when I press play, that's very cool, right? What these 4 are now playing FAC Drumkit, but on individual notes. If I say, for instance, do this, if I'll open this first one and I will just disable these sequences in here, okay? And I'll do this for all of them like this. And I'll open this one as well, and I'll disable all of them bar the first one, right? So I'll open FAC and I'll go to our mixer channel. Okay. So it's very cool. So you can see it's just triggering this first note here, right? And we can go around and we can go in and adjust the sound, of course. Do whatever you like. If I go into programming this now, this video will go on forever, so I won't do that. But you just be aware that you can go and change any of these samples out, for example. Okay, so maybe. Okay, so we'll leave it on that because that sounds quite nice. But you get the idea, right? So if I go back to my mixer view now and I engage this, you'll see that this one will kick in now. Very, very cool. And let's select that. Let's go back to our synth. Let's select that in our synth. Bit of adjustment to that now. Now, before I get any further into this, I'll just highlight the second one, right? So we know that that's me compressor, sorry, me limiter. What we can do is all sorts of cool stuff now, right? So look, we've got 16 steps, but we could run the wrong one. I'll leave it on 15, but on this one, now I can't have more events than I've got steps, but I can have less. But I can't go above 11 if I've got I go up higher, and you can get cool like offset stuff going on. We can rotate. Now you imagine this over 16 channels, right? It's absolutely epic. We can control the velocity. The other thing you need to set up is for each of these, let me stop this. This is important. When you set up your Euclideans and that, make sure port 1 is on port 1. Don't worry too much about the MIDI channel. It's really not important. But port 1, port 2, port 3, and port 4. And you do that for each of these. Look, port 1, port 2, port 3, port 4. So let's carry on with this. Let's open this up and press play. Now, if I tap this, I can change this to polyrhythm mode, polymeter, okay, and polytempo. Let's go back to Euclidean here. If I long hold this, you'll get a different view. And this comes in handy if you've got lots of these running, right? So long hold again to go back. So let's bring in C. Now you'll see on C I've got it going in reverse as well. Awesome stuff. Remember as well, also you can choose patterns. So I think if we long hold or is it long hold? Can't remember. But I know that we can copy and paste patterns. Oh, here we go. Copy, and I'll paste. Now with this one, I could randomize. Oh, look cool. So we've got notes and velocity. Don't need to worry about notes because we're just triggering one note. Let's see, scale and chord we don't need to worry about. Let's see, let's go with randomized pattern, probability, and let's just, here we go. Speed, let's randomize that. If I go back to my pattern 1 now, and we can change our speeds as well. Look here, so very cool. Times 2. So you get the idea. So let's bring this one in now, and all we need to do is switch on our sequencer, and this is in the different view. It's the same Euclidean mode but a different view. Very, very cool. Listen to what, look, changing the actual, don't forget our first one is on Euclidean. So let's change the second one now. Let's just tap on this and go into polyrhythm. Awesome stuff. Let's look at this and go into polymeter. Change the time signature, note type to 1 stuff. Let's bring in our third one now. And we can choose to, you know, reverse something or pong it. And that's also gonna ping pong it, you know. So if we look now at our beat section here, you'll see it'll go backwards, this one. Maybe we'll see that better in. It'll go backwards when it reaches the end, you see. You could do the same for this one. Awesome stuff. I'm just going to do something here. I'm just going to hook up my MIDI keyboard to my mic. To my, so hang on a sec. That's fine. I'm just so I can turn my microphone up and down. Here we go. 1 1 1 1 1. Okay. Now you do have more stuff. I'll do it like this. You do have more stuff, but since we're not using notes, it's not really relevant, and this is just great for rhythmical patterns. So let's bring in our third. I've just done that one, haven't I? Yeah, switched it all on. I'll bring in this fourth one now. Awesome. And anytime we like, we can of course just go into our mixer and see what's going on. So what's one of these? This one. Well, epic. So you can make any adjustments you like. So personally, I think that sounds great. Now, of course, we could put an effect on here. I don't know, something like, or we could put Molly Looper on for a kick-off and do some cool stuff with that. And you'll like this. It's very, very cool. Let's open Molly Looper. So, of course, Molly Looper's always listening to what you're doing. If I hit freeze, well, let me hit one of these first. Hear that? So I'm full wet mix. I'm going to hit freeze. Now, what we're hearing is just Molly Looper. So if I go and change the drum kit up, listen, you won't hear anything yet. But I'm going to blend between the wet and the dry now. Take freeze off. Take this off. This is listening to the new one now. Epic. And then we can go back to our original kit. Go to a different one. And the brilliant thing about FAC Drumkit, of course, is you can change all the samples. It works with samples and synthesis. So you could go, right, well, let's see what kits we got going on here. In fact, let's go full bore on this. Open up our stuff from Daniel. very cool. But the fun really starts when you really start to mess around with the rhythms. So, and the speeds. Right, so let's have auto rotate on every 4 rotations. This one. See? Let's have it go every 2 rotations so you can see it. 1 step forward, let's go 3 steps forward, auto rotate. Let's do the same for this one. I think it's this one. Yeah, there we go, look. Time signature. I really like that. And on you go until you've, done something very cool. You could copy this pattern, paste it here, change the type. Go back to our main view. It's different types, polyrhythmic now, so ooh. So cool. You can build up such interesting rhythm stuff, I mean, if you wanted to go if you wanted to go even further, of course, you could set up more of these and have them then control synths and stuff like that, which is absolutely epic. Right, now look, let's swap over. Let me just save that session as it is because I like that. Cool beans. I'm going to swap now to another session. I'll do it in real time, so you won't hear my voice for a sec till it all comes back in. But I set up the multi-out version, so I'll show you how to do that as well. So files, sessions, and Euclidean FAC Drumkit multi-out. So let's do this, and you'll be surprised how quick this is. Okay, so done. That was it, real time, right? So I've got my 4 Euclideans, my FAC Drumkit. Now, you'll notice that this is turned down. What I've got now is 16 channels, independent channels in multi-out. Okay, so all you need to do to set that up is, if I go all the way to the end here, I'll just add a one in here and we'll go like audio, and you click on this. And what you see is when you've got an app that allows multi-out instances, you'll see it here, and you go click on this and you click on FAC Drumkit, right? And it'll give you this number 2 one here. And then all you need to do literally is just tap on it and keep duplicating a channel, and it will add them incrementally. So it'll go 2, 3, 4. And when you've done that, right, what you need to do then, once that's all set up, once you've added all your multi-out channels, most of you know how to add multi-outs, right? But once you've added all your multi-out channels, housework you need to do in here, right, housekeeping if you like, is on these you'll see that there's an arrow and it's pointing up. If I click on this, you'll see it says voice 1 bass drum external 1. Now a quick thing to note is this number 2 is external 1. Okay, don't worry about that. So this is 1, 2, 3, etc. And you'll see I've got 7. It says 17, but it's actually 16. Okay, it's just that there's already an FAC there as well. So you set it up like that. You can go voice 1. You can route all to bass drum except 1, route by category, route to main, route. This is where you want to be, right? So if you go main, it takes it off the multi-out, and you'd hear it in the first one. But we go extension 1, and then extension, well, you can see extension 2, 3, 4, 5. You just set that up, and once that's done, it's done. The only thing you can't do is change Drumkit, because if you change Drumkit, this will all go back to main. And I don't know of a way to prevent that from happening. So if you do accidentally change Drumkit, you're going to have to set all this up again. And to be fair, it does take a few minutes. You know, you've got to go through each one, set it up. So don't really matter, like, but I'm just pointing out that, you know, I'm not going to change Drumkit for the rest of this video. All right. Now, the thing is, it's the same now. I've got a limited on the end here, and another molly looper. We don't need that channel. We can remove it. But this is only to have an overall control of the mix, if you like. So if we go back here, I'll press play. So this is the drum kit we're going to be using. Now, what we can do is go into any of these. It doesn't matter. I know there's 16 of these now, and there's actually 17. You've got the main one. If you tap on any of these, right, they're all exactly the same. They're all a copy of this. The only thing you're changing is the output routing into individual channels, which means we can add effects and stuff to individual hits and stuff. What's really cool here, though, is instead of going into this and going, right, okay, well, solo, this one, and mix it, etc. We could do our soloing from here. So now, although you can't change Drumkit, you can change the sound. So for example, right, I'll solo my microphone as well. So go into any of them. It doesn't matter which one. You could go into this one. It doesn't matter. Go to your synth part and say, well, that's white noise. We can change this to this. Oh, wait. I have to find out which one's actually triggering first. So that's the snare I've just changed. Yeah, you need to know which one you're triggering. So it's 1, 2, 3, number 4. Okay. So it's actually this one. So now you can make adjustments to the sample pitch. That's a sample on that one. You go and find a sound you like, and then you can manipulate it as much as you want. Just get rid of this. Of course, what's brilliant now is we can start to apply effects. And still make adjustments to our sequences if we want to, but let's just do this. Cool beats. Play with the sequence while that's frozen by Molly. You won't hear anything yet. Now you're hearing Hollywood, what's it called? Slow that down a bit, you know, so it's not so busy. That kick drum on this first one now, so we can make that less busy because we've got to go through a delay. And now we could go completely bonkers. Actually, let's put in trash on the master channel. Let's put that before Molly Looper. It's literally hours and hours of fun. Let's mess with this. increasing the steps, right, to whatever you like, and then lowering the event. Well, that's not a lot going on there. And then utilizing ping-ponging, change the speeds. Oh, it's so much fun. And then, of course, we could just go and say, well, let's just slow the whole thing right down. BPM. And now you could say, well, okay, let's see what happens if I go ×4 on that. Four events, so it's 4 on the floor. Then sort of rotate it so it's off, or drop it into polymeter, change the timing now. Very interesting. Let's do that with this. Sorry, I keep long pressing this. Polymeter again. Change the note type on some of these. And let's go polymeter with this one as well. Or polytempo. We could get, you know, I I don't know. Let's magic. What is this one? Guys, if you've watched this video premiere, thank you very, very much for watching. And I'm sure you'll all want to send Paul your get well soon wishes as well. Anyway, so that was Euclidean Midi sequencer here, which is absolutely marvelous, routing itself off to all 16 channels of FAC Drumkit, applying some effects. You could go absolutely crazy, of course. Bit of Molly Looper, bit of trash, just awesome stuff. Like I said, if you've watched this video premiere, thanks very much. I'm going to play this session for another couple of minutes, and I'm just going to mess around with trash, see if we can not mess it up lots and lots. Anyway, top job, cool beans. Please like the video, subscribe. Please consider becoming a Patreon, and I will see you guys later. Ta-da.